Goblins and gnomes. Goblins.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 20 of the official podcast for Guardian 1, a Destiny group dedicated to the prosperity of Guardians everywhere. We broadcast live Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Guardian 1 Network. My name is Remy, and tonight I am joined by River.
What's going on, everyone?
Crimson Warlock.
Hey.
Jez.
Good morning.
And Agrios and Dendros.
Greetings, Guardians.
We are going to be talking about all things Destiny, but first, housekeeping.
All right, Guardians, thank you for tuning into the podcast. However it is that one is the only time where we... Excuse me. Man, I'm jacking things up today. Number one is whenever we use Guardian 1 in its shortened form, such as the Twitter account. That's G1 and ET. In addition, be sure to check out the Guardian 1 website at guardian1.net. You can also send us feedback to our email, feedback@guardian1.net. We also have a Bungie.net forums group that's currently at 117 members. If you want to join, just search for the group name Guardian 1. Guardian 1 has its own clan, so if you want to join the Guardian 1 clan, select the buttons that say set as PlayStation Clan or set as Xbox Clan after you join the group. Utilize the forums for comments and feedback, so be sure to join the conversations going on over there. A thank you to all those currently in the Twitch chat. As Remy said at the top of the podcast, you can watch the show live at twitch.tv/Guardian Network. We broadcast every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. If you can't catch the show live, you can always go to the Guardian 1 YouTube channel at youtube.com/Guardian 1 Network. Guardian 1 is also a proud member of the Guardian Radio Network, so be sure to check out the Guardian Radio Network website at theguardiansofdestiny.com. There you'll find all the different podcasts that's part of the network, including the flagship podcast, Guardian Radio. They broadcast every Monday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/Guardian Radio. You can also follow their Twitter account at Guardians of D and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Guardian Radio. The other podcasts include Warlock School, DOD Podcast, TTL Party Chat, and we also got the audio drama Ghost and Echoes, and also the new Grimoire Cards of the Week that pretty much Greg Hardgroves keeps putting out every week, and they are awesome. If you guys haven't checked that out, please do. I promise you won't regret it. That's it.
Thank you very much, River.
Yep.
I would like to be the first to say, thank God it's Thursday, because I am so excited that it's Thursday. I'm excited to see how this new system plays out. I saw what I believe to be a mock-up, but what it looked like was there was the normal set of weapons, or there was a normal set of weapon and armor, and then there was like 10 icons that they were like, this is where you level this up. Is that legitimate, or is that somebody's Photoshop? Does anyone know?
If you were talking about you mean the scene of Zer's shop where you see like the 10 weapons below to be leveled up, you mean like the picture of his shop?
Correct.
Yeah, that's official from Bungie.
Wow. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty large rotating offering of exotics. I like that a lot. And so tonight's super exciting to me. Not only that, but I had a chance to grab that chest on each of my characters on both sides, and I got the new Suros on the Xbox and the PlayStation. So
lucky you.
right, lucky me.
Mhm.
So very exciting day. Anyone else here excited for Zer's Day today or in general?
Heck yeah.
It'd be
Yeah,
nice
I'll
to
just go with yes.
Have a new exotic.
What was that, Jez?
I said it'd be nice to have one of the new exotics because I haven't gotten one yet.
Ooh, that would be nice. Well, I mean, there's definitely going to be one, right? At least one primary,
Well,
special, or heavy.
Well, we don't know it's going to be a new one.
I'm also talking about even having an exotic that goes past 300 that isn't Mythoclast.
Yeah,
Because I haven't got one of those yet either.
yeah. But you do have Mythoclast?
Yeah,
Oh, well then,
that's the only
shut it.
weapon that I have that goes past.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you got the Mythoclast, man. What are you complaining about?
Right? That's it. That's the end all be all. Right? It ignores shields. Like it ignores shields. Do you know what that does to your game? Oh my god. I have to get the Mythoclast. I have to get the Mythoclast right now. I gotta go, guys.
Good luck.
Right? Right, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm
And
glad
now no
right.
one's running VOG.
Yeah.
What are you excited for, River? Like what do you hope is there? Like what is, if he had it, your whole night would be made.
You mean Zer?
Yeah, like what combination of stuff? Like, are you looking for a specific weapon, or is there something like a piece of armor that you are ready to upgrade?
The symbiote helmet for my hunter and Thorn. That's pretty much the two exotic pieces I really want to upgrade next. Otherwise, I just want to hit 30. Like as soon as the podcast is done, I'm gonna go hit 30.
Awesome, awesome. Being 30 is where it's at. Let me tell you what.
That's what I hear.
Warlock, what are you looking for?
I am actually hoping to work on my new Bad Juju bounty. I just got it today, and so I'm hoping to get that in about a week or so, depending on how much time I have to play.
Wait,
Because
don't you already have bad juju?
oh, I got the bounty again, and so it should be the upgraded one that I get.
There you go.
So are you?
I'm one of those few people that really likes pulse rifles, and I think the Bad Juju is a fun gun to use. So
It
I'm
looks
pretty
like
excited for it.
the stats look pretty good. I actually picked up the bounty as well, just because some of those perks look, I don't know, delicious. So you are going to upgrade that other one that you have, though, right?
Well, if I get this new one and it's the new type, I'm going to dismantle my other one to get a shard to fully upgrade my last one. Yeah.
Gotcha. I can see that, I guess. What about you, Agrios? What are you on your seat about? Just waiting.
Well, I guess upgrade my exotic armor. I'm as much excited to see about how exactly that's going to work as I am about hopefully getting like a new Warlock helmet. I have the rest of the gear all set to go to 31 already. I just got to get 12 more Radiant Shards, and I'm 31 with the raid boots that I got. And I'm really interested to see, like, when I cash something in, armor-wise, and it has Discipline 151 on it, which is, like, 50 higher than most of the other variants I found of that particular piece. Am I going to get a new random reroll on that? That's my biggest question for Zer tonight. How are they going to determine how they're going to handle those buffs?
From what I've heard, it is random, but I'm not sure where I heard it from because it shouldn't be known yet.
Right.
Interesting. So right there, you mentioned the raid. Why don't we just go down the line and see who played it and who beat it? I did play it, and I made it past the first part, but once we got to the bridge, people started splitting, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and so I figured that somebody had already taken World's First. And if I had known that they hadn't, I probably would have pushed forward some more. We could have gotten some more randoms. But it was really cool. I got some Warlock, the Warlock shoulder pieces. And what I'm really excited about is that Warlock headpiece. That would make me want to play Warlock all the time, I think. Have you guys seen that?
There's a
Warlock.
bridge.
Oh, never mind. Don't worry about it. So I guess that
Which
answers.
headpiece?
I guess that the one that kind of looks like the witches. They're the
Oh yeah,
That
I've
looks-
seen it. It does look pretty cool.
that looks amazing. That looks amazing. So River, you haven't played it yet?
Me and let's see if you look in the chat, Twisted Shots TV is actually in there. Me and him was going to try to do a blind run. Was supposed to be after the podcast, but I'm not going to be able to hit 30 before then, so we'll probably do it later on the week.
It's a lot of fun. First
That's
part
what I
is
hear.
the first part is an amazing amount of fun.
Yes.
And I don't know. Let's just keep going down the line. Let's see, Warlock. Did you play it and did you beat it?
I've not played it. I've seen a few streamers do a few parts of it. I saw Dado do it with a few people. Well, I saw Dado kill Crota with a few people today while I was at work. And I'm pretty excited for it, but I don't know when I'll get to it just because I don't think I'll be leveled to 31 or 30 with many of my characters anytime soon. So hopefully within about 2 weeks I'll try the raid.
Gotcha. It's a lot of fun. Jez, did you play it and did you beat it?
Without spoiling it, I've got to the last encounter, but I didn't beat it because it's timing. We were going for so long, we're already quite delirious. So our raid team kind of dismantled to help other raid teams, and then we haven't gone back just because it's been like a scheduling nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, how long
but-
were you guys running for?
We started when it went live, and we stopped probably, I gotta say, sometime after supper. So that would be
Night.
That's awesome.
12, 13, 14 hours or so.
Ugh. Oh,
That's
all right,
awesome.
man. Yeah,
That's awesome.
dedication.
It's a lot of fun. Even when you come to a place where you don't understand what's going on, you feel like I feel like you're being shepherded. Like there's clues around the map, and there's obvious landmarks, and there's I don't know, just the things that they've taught you previously. It's kind of like a step, and so once you get to the next step, you understand what you were doing before, and then it comes into play. What about you, Agrios? We did play it. We did not beat it, but I haven't talked to you in like 2 days. So those 2 days could have been spent down there with Crota. You did play it. Have you beat it?
No, I have not yet beat it. I have not played it since the day that we played it, but I played it later that day. I'd stayed up all night, and at 4 a.m. my time, I went on the raid with you guys. We got as far as we got, and then our group disbanded. And then afterward, myself, Sharks 3D Man, and K-Dub ran it with Mark Turcott from Guardian Radio at 9 in the morning. And we ran with him until we got to the boss before Crota and had him down to a sliver so many times. And then some people had to go off to work and whatnot or pick up kids, and it was like 2 in the afternoon at that point, and I was delirious.
I bet. Did you get any sweet loot?
I got the raid boots. I don't remember if I got those in our raid. I don't remember which raid I got those in, to be honest. Oh, I had to have gotten those in... I'm pretty sure I got those in our raid, actually, from the very first section. No, I could be wrong. I mean, I got those. I have no idea. I got the raid boots, though.
Have you run in with all your characters to get that chest?
No, I have not yet. I've not gone back in to Crota's End since I left that raid there.
Gotcha. All right.
And I
Well,
was on the same character I ran it with you with.
public safety announcement. I would be willing to bet that they're going to plug this. But if you can go into the raid by yourself, and then instead of going straight, take a left, and there's like a little path that you follow. You take a left, and then it's like a right, and then it's a left, and right there is a door. And I think there's 3 or 4 different doors along this hallway, and this chest, the first chest, spawns in one of those. And you can't I've made it to the second door a couple times, but it's rough by yourself. So just keep dying until you go get that one. I ran it with all 6 of my characters, and it's well worth it. It's well worth it because now I know, even if I don't get a chance to finish it, that the easy stuff in front of me is gone. But I would plan on them. I would plan on them at least putting it back to the second chest, if nothing else, because it's very easy to run to the first one. The bad guys don't bother you.
But it was just as easy to solo the Vault of Glass first one.
Was it? Oh yeah, just those for those materials. Yeah, but this one you have a chance to get an exotic. I got 2 Suros out of that chest.
Well, so there's no chance for an exotic out of the first chest in the Vault of Glass?
No, not that I know of. I've never heard of that.
Well, I've never seen anybody pull an exotic from anybody but a boss in the Vault of Glass while I was in there, I don't think, so.
My buddy SDF Lawn Boy actually pulled the multi-tool from that one.
Out of the first chest?
First chest.
Man, yeah, I've never heard of that.
I thought so. I thought all the raid chests that had materials could also pop an exotic, but I wasn't certain on it.
Wow. They've
I've only
patched
ever
that,
seen
by
it
the
from.
way.
I've only ever seen it from the one that's just before Gorgons.
Yeah, that's the one that I've seen drop it as well. I've seen so many Thunderlords being passed out to everybody but me from that chest. You know, you have a Thunderlord, and you have a Thunderlord. Well, sorry, Remy. No,
Mine was the Steros regime or the Hawkman. Like, everyone got that but me from that chest.
You're a big pistol guy there, River. What do you think of the Hawkmood? Oh! Oh, that was horrible. I'm a horrible person.
That was great. No, it's wonderful. I'll let you know in a year.
Right. You know what? I was thinking about that.
What?
And the Xbox people are actually going to get, they're being held back this content. It's going to be all brand new and awesome. I tell you what, I haven't gotten any of the really sweet gear that the PlayStation people are supposed to have. Like, I got the cool Warlock helmet and I got the cool Hunter helmet, but that was it. Like, I haven't seen anything else from being playing on PlayStation. So
Yeah,
So
that was
there you
one
are.
of the things that I kind of accepted eventually, was that it's hard to get gear anyways with the RNGs being put in. So I wasn't really worried about it anymore.
yeah.
Well, by the time you're ready to get by the time you're looking to run the things that they were giving those rewards from, you didn't need those rewards anymore anyway. So it was kind of a moot point. There was never a point where I was like, oh, I'm going to wear this PlayStation gear I got. It was always, I'm way past that. And, oh, this is a nifty helmet I've never seen before.
And by the time we, as Xbox players, get this, previous content anyways, we'll have maybe the second expansion, right? That's like a whole slew of other exotics and other gear that we're probably going to prefer then, depending.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just blue stuff.
Well, here's the question, River. What's your favorite secondary class? Hopefully it's not shotguns.
Wait a second. I'm getting something. I think it is.
Honestly, secondaries is very situational for me, so I don't really have a favorite as of yet.
Interesting. So you readily switch between fusion, sniper, and shotgun?
That's right.
Interesting. I for the longest time I wouldn't run a shotgun, and I still really don't, because they just seem so worthless in my hands. I'm a medium to short range player, and for some reason there's this, I don't know, 4 or 6 feet of virtual space that I cannot gain to shoot this shotgun, and so it's just completely worthless in my hands. And really, I've just recently come around to the fusion rifle, so my go-to is always the sniper rifle. I always just carry a sniper rifle. It's weird
you're a
carrying
Titan,
anything
right?
else. Yeah.
Okay, you're too slow. That's what it is.
Is that what it is? Everyone's
Yeah,
taking the
that's what it
kills. I'm like, wait for me, guys.
That's right.
You know what it
Maybe you
is?
switch around your feet.
I hang back and I let my friends go and think they're playing Halo. Like, I'm the Master Chief, and they rush in there and then they die. And then I clear the area and I
Well, that's what
Resurrect
Sunsingers are for.
right. I I always feel good traveling with Sunsingers because they can handle their own. You know, they may die, but they're going to come right back. So hopefully they're on my team.
Fate of the Destiny world.
Right. I'm super excited about mine. Going through that raid, having that level 30 Warlock was, I don't know, a godsend. I can't even imagine how many times did I resurrect myself, and that just pushed our group that much further, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to spoil it, but I found one part of the new raid that I totally wasn't expecting. An actual use for Striker Titans.
Oh yes, continue. Oh, you're not going to spoil it though.
Not
gonna spoil it, but you got to that point. I'll just say that much.
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about this. I guess I can't talk about it because River hasn't seen it, huh?
Well, Lars back in. Is it Lars back in? No.
Back in?
Luke Smith
Luke Smith?
Bucking?
on TTL Party Chat
Uh-huh.
this past week or something.
That was Luke.
Yeah.
That was Luke.
Yeah, that was Luke. Okay, he did say that a Blade Dancer would really shine during this raid.
Right, and I want to talk about that right now.
Mhm.
Are we talking about that, or are we not talking about that, guys?
Well, that's part of the raid, and that was
Well.
really the only hint that he let out. And I would hate your face if you spoiled anything for it.
Okay, then we'll talk about it another week. But I've devised...
You can be vague if you really want.
Well, it might be too specific. You know what, though?
My vagueness is I'm not sure if there is a spot specific to it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, it's pretty good, like, everywhere, I guess. But...
Yeah, I would say that as well. But then...
Then I probably already heard about it.
It's more to do with that the mobs are more melee friendly than things that are firing at you from 20 feet away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I heard. Frickin' work buddy. As soon as he came in to relieve me for the next shift, he's like, "Oh, hey man, there's all kinds of this stuff."
Let's just say, here, I'll be vague. Let's just say if I had 2 Defender Titans and 4 Blade Dancers, that first part would be cake. Like, I've really been thinking about a scenario in which those 6 people just, I don't know, it's all of a sudden like a shooting range, like ding ding. Awesome. Well then, why don't we get to the news? Agrios, take us away.
All right. Well, in preparation for the coming DLC, we saw an update drop earlier in the week. Along it came increased levels immediately for the daily, weekly, and heroic. So we got a taste of that with last week's weekly and nightfall. And then with the DLC, we got a taste of the new strike right off the bat with the weekly. They had heroic and Arcburn to start with, and then for the nightfall, they added Angry and Light Switch, and of course, Epic. Have you guys had fun with the weekly and nightfall yet?
And I haven't even gotten to those yet.
I don't even know where the strike is.
I am so far behind. Like basically what happened on Tuesday night was this amazing raid dropped, and I was told that level 30 was no longer it. You know, and so now I'm going back through all of my characters and basically just inching my way up. Like it's amazing grind when you have to do the same mission 6 times. But it's so I haven't even gotten to the weekly. I haven't gotten to the nightfall. Like I haven't even unlocked them. That's how far behind I am on this.
Same.
So.
And I don't think fun is the right word for the nightfall.
I had lots of fun. I didn't beat it yet. I wiped at the boss, but both times I ran it and wiped at the boss, I had a lot of fun. I liked it.
So I'm curious, Jez. What is it that makes this go from not fun to not fun?
A lack of a fate bringer.
Oh
yeah.
Oh.
And Fatebringer would shine.
Awesome.
Cry about it.
Awesome.
Mythoclast can only do so much.
No way. Like you would rather have the Fatebringer than the Mythoclast.
Yeah.
Ow.
Because at least with Solar Burn, I can use Vision of Confluence, but I can't do that with this one. I don't even have. I think Praetus Timepiece is the pulse rifle is also arc.
Yep.
And I don't have that either.
Yep, I got that one, and I'm so extremely happy. It was amazing. Like it was one of those times that you go into Destiny LFG and you come out with this team. Like, how are you going to do this? Like, imagine it's like the A team, but like the Z team. I don't even know how we made it past a checkpoint. And then we made it past one checkpoint, and that was my Predis timepiece. I spent the next 2 hours trying to finish this, and it never happened. But you know what? Having an ARC primary, man, I am going to look forward to this. I'm going to look forward to this Nightfall. Exciting! What about the rest of you guys? Like Warlock, have you gotten to the Nightfall yet?
No, I have not. So I have no idea what a lot of the content is right now. I've only done like 2 missions in the expansion. I haven't had a lot of time to play.
Gotcha. Ooh, what else we got, Agrios?
Well, moving on. This week in the weekly update, they talked to the voice of Eris, an actor by the name of Morla Gorondona, and talked to her a bit about how she became an actor and what her influences were, how she brought Eris to life. You can read all about that in the weekly update. Next in the weekly update, they talked about the title defense fight. With the raid launching at 0 hour at the start of the DLC, it was a race to who would complete it first, with many wondering if one of the defending champions, Prime Guard or Invigorate, would emerge victorious. After 6 hours, and with the substitution of a level 31 while facing Crota, Invigorate would emerge triumphant. In this week's weekly update, Bungie had a discussion with them about their experience. We don't want to move into any spoilers, so I'll leave that as well for you to read yourselves in the weekly update if you're interested.
Gotcha.
Next, they go into the shared world, and they address the DLC strike being included as the weekly and nightfall in the weekly and nightfall rotations now. They note that featured activities will rotate between old and new, and next week will feature Destiny launch content. How did you guys... there's a large uproar in the community from non-DLC holders about not thinking that the weekly and nightfall should be the DLCs because it denies them a primary activity during the week. This is a kind of a sensitive subject in the community with strong opinions both ways. How do you guys feel about the situation?
I feel like it's unfortunate. I feel like it's unfortunate that anybody has to suffer not having those things. And really, when I first saw that there was a lock over the weekly and the nightfall, I moved my cursor over it. And it said, you haven't completed this bounty yet. And at first I thought, man, wouldn't it be crazy if people who don't have this can't run these? And that's exactly what it is. And it's horribly unfortunate. But I think that this is perfectly reasonable. Bungie just dropped all this new content, and if you bought it, you're going to get to play it. And I feel bad for those people because running the weekly and the nightfall have been kind of my main goal over the last couple weeks. Like I've switched from patrolling to making sure that my weekly and nightfall are done, and not getting to do those would mean an interruption of a huge amount of strange coins. Like I would almost feel like they are holding my arm behind my back. Like I have to buy this in order to keep this currency going, but it's just the way it is. Like the same thing with the content where that PlayStation gets it. This is just another tier of not so much preference as you've bought additional content. Like this is a bonus. This is not part of the original game, and you're supporting them, and so that's what they're going to support. I almost feel like it's when you go to see your favorite band and another album has come out since the last one, and they play a ton of songs off that one, and they absolutely neglect all of the songs you only want to hear. Like when I go to a Nine Inch Nails concert, I don't want to hear anything after, let's say, With Teeth. I don't want to hear anything after With Teeth. But if they are, they put out another album, that's what they're going to play. That's what they're going to support. This is the content that they are actively putting out. Like it's sad, but I mean, I bought it. Agrios, you bought it. River, what about you? You bought it and you didn't bought it, or what are your feelings on this?
I definitely bought it because I have the Ghost Edition.
Oh,
So
awesome!
I definitely have it. And you're right. It is unfortunate that those who don't have the DLC are not going to be able to participate in this week's weekly events. But it is an event, and they need to put in the DLC as part of the rotation. I am perfectly okay with that. I think it's, like you said, I think it's reasonable as well. And if you want to participate in Nightfall whenever the DLC any future DLC comes up, you're just going to have to buy the thing. There's really nothing else you can do about it.
You know what's crazy is just a couple of days before the 9th, my PlayStation Network Plus lapsed, and there was like 3 days that I didn't have online. And playing Destiny without online, like they took away the weekly, they took away the Nightfall. Like if you don't have live, or if you don't have the Plus, you don't get to play those. So it's not even unheard of. It's just an additional thing. And when you think about it, this is new for fans of Halo, fans of games like Call of Duty. Like there's, Bungie has mentioned before that with this game, they're able to support more than just the multiplayer people, because when I purchase a game and what the additional content is the additional multiplayer maps, I don't really worry about it. I don't play enough multiplayer to really become bored of the maps that I already have. So when Halo, like I was a pretty big Halo 3 fan, Halo ODST Reach, when there was additional content put out for them, I didn't have to get it. I didn't have to get it because it wasn't aimed to me. But this upgrade, this expansion, it covers so much more than just multiplayer maps. Like I probably would not have even have bought it if it was just multiplayer maps. I just don't need them. But now it's covering story missions. It's covering, and I mean, there's additional things that people get without having bought it. But yeah, it's I don't know. What do you think, Warlock? You bought it. You think what about it?
So I'm an MMO guy. That's my background. Never really played Halo, never really played first-person shooters. This is really my first one. And for those people who weren't expecting this to happen, like, that's the world of MMOs. Like, that's just the way it happens. New content comes out, and that's all that's featured for the first week for sure. But as much as I do think it is unfortunate, at the same time, like you mentioned too, like these people are getting the new legendaries, they're getting the new exotics, and so level 30, getting to level 30 to continue the dailies and the weeklies and stuff, you're going to do more damage than level 30s used to be able to do anyway. So, like missing out on 1 week for all those extra perks and easier content, I think it's worth it if you haven't bought it to just wait 1 week and miss out for 1 week. I mean, 1 week doesn't really put you far behind. And the only people that matter about 1 week are those super hardcore people that play tons of hours every day. That's my opinion anyway. So, I mean, like, it's sad that it's happened, but that's part of the game. And if you want to be part of everything that's going on, you've got to pay up. That's just how it is.
In addition, I am happy to support Bungie. I would like it if they would sell me more stuff. You know what? I'm glad. I am so glad that there are not microtransactions in this game, because I'd be out, I don't know, probably another $60 at least. I would be able to not only rationalize in my mind, but the people who are in charge of the dollars that I get, I would focus on this. Like there's, a $5 expansion that I can buy, some kind of extra weapons Armor something, like I would buy it. I would buy it. Like I want to throw more money at Bungie, and I'm happy with the way they're doing this. I want to ask Mike. You have this background in MMOs. How often are those expansions put out, and how much are they?
It kind of depends on the game. A WoW knowledge comes out with an expansion every couple of years. Jez, you could answer that one better. But some of the MMOs that I've played are maybe the same that what Destiny might be doing, and that's releasing 4 pieces of content a year. Every 3 months, there's a new DLC, new content that comes out, and those are maybe kind of like how this is. $20. Those ones are going for 10 or 15 that I see, but they're not super big titles, so having a cheaper price makes sense. But it kind of just depends on how much content you want to put in, and if that much content keeping people happy. I know a lot of people were kind of upset that there's only 3 story missions in this expansion, and there's only 3 new multiplayer maps, and only 1 strike for everybody. So I mean, it just kind of depends. If Bungie continues on like a 3-month release schedule, but releases this much content, I would be fine with it. It wouldn't bother me one bit to pay $20 4 times a year for this much content.
So would anybody here? Does anybody here think? Well, let's ask Jez. Jez, you also come from an MMO background. Does this seem unreasonable to you? And what do you think about the people who are unable to play what they're doing? Or do you think they should just pony up the $20?
Well, I'll touch on the controversy part first. I think they probably should have had like a backup if like you didn't have it, it was some other strike or something like that. Like if you didn't have the expansion, you could still do the Nightfall. It would be just a different place. But I think like overall, I would almost say that the content's a little light, because while he did say the WoW's expansions are years apart, 6 or so months, there's a big, huge update that they do to the game that adds a new raid and a new boss, and that's completely free with the expansion. So it's, while it is a lot further spread out, there's also a lot of free stuff that goes on in between. So I wouldn't... Was that?
Ahead. No, I'll wait until you're done here.
Oh, so I was just going to say that it does feel a bit light, but it is worth it at this 3-month time schedule.
What
were
is
you
that?
going to ask?
Okay, so I was going to say, you say that stuff comes out free, but it's not free because you're still paying a subscription fee.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, but
because if Bungie had all of their player base pay a subscription fee, I would most definitely be disappointed in this expansion. Personally,
Yes.
I think we're lucky to get how much we have right now without a subscription fee.
Do you feel like this was enough? Do you feel like you paid enough for your $20, or are you so blinded by I am just going to play Destiny and this is awesome that you'll just do it? It doesn't matter.
I think as an entire package, we probably got a pretty good amount for, at the most, maybe what, $20, $15, depending on how you buy it.
Uh-huh.
And because it's running the gamut. You got Crucible maps, you got Strike, you got Raid, you got all this gear. You have these subsequent updates that led up to the Dark Below that helped prepare for this expansion that came up. And again, I think we're lucky to get as much as we did without a subscription fee, without having to pay $15 a month or $12.50 a month or whatever.
Something that I always like to point out when discussions like this come along is the fact that video games have been $50 or $60 for about 20 years now. And the fact is, they understand that there is only so much that the video gamer can pay as an initial buy-in point to a game. The way I look at it is I'm paying the initial $50, $60 for a game and seeing if I like that game. And I mean, if I'm only if I only feel like have mediocre feelings toward the game, I'm not that into it, well, I'm not going to buy any of the DLC. I'd rather pay $60 initially and then pay $15 4 times after that for a game I like, or choose not to pay after that for a game I don't like, than have to pay $200 for a game up front, because that's what a game would have to cost these days if they weren't going to make all this extra content.
Interesting.
Everyone is nostalgic for Super Nintendo games, but probably people aren't nostalgic for their almost $100 price tags.
Exactly.
So then, I forgot what I was going to say. That's unfortunate. Okay, so is everybody here in agreement that the expansion, the way that that's done is handled? Like, there's just no way that they could have asked for a subscription fee?
No,
I don't think it would survive, to be honest. I think with the reviews and how people initially thought Destiny was, if it had a subscription fee, it'd be dead by now.
Yeah.
Like, too many people just would have moved on.
I think they would have handled the pregame a lot differently if they were planning on doing subscription fee, though.
I agree with that. I think Destiny would be a different beast if we had a subscription fee.
Are there any other console games with a subscription fee?
Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah, just the MMOs.
And they have a super diehard base already before the Final Fantasy was even created to rely on to get that subscription fee. I'm just concerned to how the average console gamer, if you will, if they were ready for something like that, to buy a game with a subscription fee like that. I think about maybe especially the younger kids convincing their parents to have to pay a subscription fee for that in particular.
Right. I feel like they did I feel like they chose the right one, because I really liked Phantasy Star Universe for the Xbox 360. It's a really fun game. There's a ton of similarities to Destiny, in the way that it kind of feels like it's. And I don't know how to describe that. I don't want to take up too much time with that. But it's very, very much an amazingly like a Destiny feel. But it had a subscription fee. There was a $10 a month Guardian license that you had to buy to do these things, and I just couldn't do it. But once I canceled my subscription, I mentally checked out on the game. Like, well, if I have to pay to play it, then I'm not interested in playing it. And with Destiny, you don't have to. You just have to have a copy of the game to play it. And what you can play is all dependent on what you've purchased. So I think that you're totally right. They could not have done a subscription based.
Sometimes subs work the other way around, where if you're paying to play it, you almost feel obligated to.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? That's another one, because people say that Destiny is light on content, and while I agree in some aspects, the game world is just so wonderfully realized. Like it took a lot of time to just make the decisions on what it was going to be and what was going to be in it. Like every time I run through an area, like I noticed something new. I noticed something I didn't notice before, and there's just so much love and detail put into it that really it's light on content in auxiliary stuff to do in this world. The world itself is a huge triumph. It's beautiful and it's detailed and it flows and it feels great. Infamous Band-Aid says, I feel the raid makes it worth it, but I will say the story content could be a little larger. This is something I agree with, without having completed all of the story yet. Like having only 3 story missions, and that first one's like tiny. I mean, it does start you off in the blast facing the other direction, and that's a really cool view. And it's really cool to go through that direction, but the raid definitely makes it worth it. Like the raid was, again, I haven't even finished that either. it's just such a different creature to like a multiplayer map or even story content. The raid is huge, and if they can pump out a raid with the surrounding stuff every 3 months, I think Destiny is going to be a huge hit, because at some point all of this will just be what the game is. You know, like anybody buying just a regular copy of Destiny right now, once they get home, they're never going to be able to buy Shadow Price again at that number. Like that's no longer at that Vanguard, you know? So
They'll never know of the loot cave either.
Right, they'll never know of the loot cave, exactly.
Oh no. There's a memorial.
There is a memorial, that's right.
They mentioned that in TTL party chat too. They're like, back in my day, whenever we were shooting inside a hole and grabbing the loot that way.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
So, to be kind of, I guess this is the negative opinion on the raid, and I'm sure Crimson probably seen this during Vault of Glass, but those raids are actually short compared to WoW raids, like short in encounters.
Oh, they're extremely short. You know, when I remember trying to do more Molten Core in of vanilla WoW, and in 4 hours we did 2 of the 10 bosses. So they're super short comparatively to large scale MMOs.
Well, you also didn't have your vanilla icebreaker either.
Vanilla ice.
I know, I was a paladin, so it probably wouldn't have worked anyway.
All you did was sit there and buff people.
And
And
you know,
that's
those
Boss for
raids,
the win.
those raids in WoW, they require a lot more people, don't they?
There's
They used to.
10
Now
man.
it's 10.
Yeah, it's now down to
Yeah.
10 and 25 man.
I can't even imagine trying to coordinate that.
Yeah, the first raid was 40 people, and it was insane trying
Cool.
to get 40 people online at the same time for 2 hours even.
Right? And then you'd never be able to tell if people were just
Sucking
just
off.
sitting there. Yeah. Gaining the experience. That's crazy. You know, I could see Destiny heading in the direction of much larger raids. Like if people, I think that a lot of what Destiny is going to be is what people demand it to be. And if there's a big enough chant that, you know, these raids aren't long enough or they need to be something else, I think Bungie's listening. I think they have the people in place to implement basically whatever they want. You know, Destiny could be whatever they want.
It's like, hey Luke, if you ever want more ideas, just call.
Right? We all have amazing ideas. I wanted to thank you guys again for all those ideas from last week's episode, for ways of flagging yourself for raids. Like, I didn't expect all of those awesome answers, and when I went back and listened to it again, that was awesome. So, tons of ideas here. What else we got, Agrios?
Next, they wrap the weekly update up. The last bit here I have to talk about is the new Crucible play coming up. We have a number of changes in the Crucible already. We have the new maps and new playlists. And coming on December 16th, Lord Saladin and the Iron Banner will return. The Iron Banner will replace a premium playlist currently featured. Iron Banner will not feature new maps from the Dark Below. Excuse me. Control on new maps will be featured starting December 23rd. So we got the Iron Banner, and Control won't be coming to the new maps until December 23rd. Are you guys excited for the new Iron Banner?
Heck yeah.
Reset the reputation there. Got to work the whole way back up again from the start this time.
I
How
hope
do-
I'll actually get to play the Iron Banner this time.
How do you guys think it's going to be different? Because I can't imagine that they're going to bring out the same thing they used last time. Do you think it's going to be the opposite set of armor? You know, that way
Yes.
you can have a full set. Okay, so
No.
and no, you don't think so, River?
No, I think maybe you'll have one opposite piece, but not enough to make a complete set.
So you don't think it'll be the chest and the helm this time and no boots and gloves?
No, I think it'll either be boots and gloves and one or the other.
I'll see. I think they're going to eliminate one of them at least, and I think they're not going to have more than 2 pieces of armor and not more than 2 guns, and they're just going to rotate which ones are in those slots, kind of like Xur has a random assortment. Well, every time Saladin comes back, maybe not random, but is going to have a different possibility in each of those slots. And I was actually expecting the other armor pieces to be random awards coming from the Crucible like the other weapons were, but then there are also Iron Banner weapons that have been data mined that haven't been released either as rewards or in the story yet. So we have ones yet to be seen yet.
I agree.
I'm still waiting for them to just say, haha, we fooled you, it's not Iron Banner, Trials of Osiris.
Oh,
I forgot about.
Well,
That would be
I was
cool.
wondering if it won't come out simultaneously, if it won't be all part of the same thing, because you either complete the bounty to get the entry tokens, or you get them randomly awarded through Crucible events. So you could get them randomly awarded from competing in the Iron Banner, then go to the Trials of Osiris.
Because Trials of Osiris has that same level matters thing, or at least when it was data mined, that's what it was.
Right, and it's 3 versus 3, right?
I honestly can't remember now, but
it takes place on the Burning Shrine.
Yeah, it's obviously changed because I think at one time they were going to have the Burning Shrine. The only way you could play it is with Trials of Osiris. And then suddenly they're like, hey, let's make it available for everyone and not do Trials of Osiris either yet or at all.
Well, I mean, the fact that Fate of All Fools exists and it was given to someone already leads me to believe that it is going to come to the game.
Yeah, well, they could retool that to work anywhere, to be honest.
They could.
okay. So
I'd be really disappointed if Cyrus never shows up.
okay, so I was just going to ask this, but Infamous Band-Aid asked it in the chat. What is the gear going to go to? Because Bungie made this big deal about having the Iron Banner gear be a lateral upgrade.
They already said to go to 31.
Oh, well, there it is.
So it's the same as vendor gear.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
It's just unique.
Well,
Like, you can't buy it when the Iron Banner is not there. So it's going to go to 31 just like all the other vendor gear. So it is completely a side grade to vendor gear.
there it is. Oh my god, have you guys seen the Gravebreaker? That's the sickest hunter helmet.
No, I haven't seen that.
Man, wait till you see.
Gravebreaker?
Yeah. It's available at the Vanguard right now, and it's the meanest looking thing.
Oh, give me a second.
It's been
Oh,
been
gas
going
mask.
around, but people have been looking at a blue scout rifle called Stalker B or BGL or something like that. It's just a rare scout rifle, but people have said, "Oh, you wasted this skin on a rare that no one's going to use." And it does look good. So it's got like a tiger on it or something.
That's something else that I was thinking about. I've actually seen a couple of rare items that have come from this update that would be really cool to use. I saw a pistol, and I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was. I thought, man, this would be awesome. It's the same way I feel about the Stranger's rifle. I would love to use the Stranger's rifle, but in comparison to other things, I wish you could level up rares to legendary. You know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, me too.
Because there's a lot of really cool rare gear that's worth using. It's really worth using. I haven't deleted some of it too. Like, I've just keep holding on to it because I don't want to. 'Cause it's nice.
So for a brief moment, I was playing World of Warcraft, and they added in this expansion like this follower system where you train your followers and send them off to do quests to bring you back gold and resources and stuff. But the coolest thing that they have is once they hit max level, they keep earning XP, and then they like rank up. Like, they have different rarities, just like weapons and stuff. It came to me that why not do that for everything, so that you could truly find a weapon that you love and tell a story of how you used it so often. Like, and just have it level up straight up to legendary. You wouldn't be able to get exotic with it, and it would just keep adding another tier of bonuses.
Man,
randomly chosen.
that would be so amazing because I have this Sidonia AR3 it's green and I just love this weapon. I haven't deleted it. It's totally worthless to me. You know what? I was actually thinking about trying it in Vanilla Ice Crucible and seeing if its stats held up, as it's leveled out. But yeah, it's totally worthless to me. But I absolutely love it. I love the skin. I love the sight. I love the feel. Like it's an amazing weapon, and I would love to be able to bring it with me. This was something, River, that you brought up that before the game came out, and it was just so brilliant. It was just such a great idea that I can't believe there's not more examples of this in the actual game. Like that would be amazing. And that's what they were talking about. This is going to be a story. How you got this weapon and let us upgrade our rares, Bungie. Come on now. I'd like that very first weapon. I'd like to refit that thing because that thing sounds great and it feels great. Do any of you still have that weapon?
Nope.
I had it for a little bit. It always keeps getting deleted, though.
Warlock, did you keep it? Your beginning weapon?
I think I still have my hunter's beginning weapon, but no, I did not. That one.
Agrios?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we kick ass. All right, so we're coming close to the end of the show. Let's cram in as much as we can before we got to go when River has to go. I think that's why episode 19 won't export. Like the show, the Twitch doesn't want to. It's like, look it, River took off. You guys are worthless, clearly.
Well, you're too kind.
Right? Agrios?
Yeah.
Oh, that's most of everything in the news this week, although there are a couple other tidbits we have. Guardians will carry over to Destiny 2, has been confirmed by Bungie.
That's awesome.
So, that brings up a couple questions for me. Like, is it going to be a separate game environment? Are we not going to be able to come back to Destiny 1 maps or anything like that? Or is it like what we're all hoping and it's just going to be integrated? Be seamless and we can travel back and forth between, Destiny 1, Destiny 2 freely? That's a big question I have.
Right. Okay. So this goes back to them reusing content, like having us go through these different areas. They've been playing this game for 5 years, and I imagine some of those beginning levels, or maybe even a lot of it, have been done for a long time, and they've just I feel like when I go back to Steps that it's kind of like where I lived in San Diego before I moved up here as a kid. Like I feel like I totally recognize this place and I know my way around and I know the names of the different places, and I feel like it would be horrible to just have that all washed away. I could understand if certain areas were inaccessible because new enemies have moved in. Like what if the Hive makes the Steps their new home base? Like we might not start at the Steps anymore. Like I could see them growing the areas, but I can't imagine that they're just going to abandon them. Like I feel like what we're going to see with 2 is when you purchase 2, like let's say you never purchased 1, 2 you will get all like it will be the up-to-date version that everybody else has. But that will include these places that we've been to already. But then again, how are they going to manage all that content? I mean, I guess they would just make the maps bigger and the director. Like what do you think about this? What do you think, River? Like how are they going to handle that?
I don't know. Like I said, that's my question, because we've speculated on this game prior to launch, all kinds of crazy stuff. What we expected, what we hoped, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of people whenever you say a little disappointed in what we got as far as scale, as far as what we wanted out of the game. So I'm afraid I'm afraid to hope for too much in this case.
So do you think that, like, let's say they added another section, like maybe not connected to that section, but like let's just say when you click on the Earth, you have your choice of old Russia or, you know, the Chicago map.
Well, that would be integrated together then, and that's what I would hope for.
Okay, because that would be cool. I could see that being really cool.
Mhm.
What do you think, Warlock?
I would like to really see the worlds expand. I mean, this is a living, breathing world, and if our control of the worlds that we're fighting on doesn't expand, honestly, that would make me feel like what we're doing is really pointless. So yeah, I would love to be able to see different parts of the world, or you start somewhere else, and you know maybe there's a point to where you know we expand the city further out, and the city isn't just in one location, but we have the second city or something like that. You know, just something that would expand the game and make you feel like what we're doing is really worth it.
Jez?
Well, I kind of wish that they could update it so that you could do it that way, but that would require disk-based users to keep installing like almost the entirety of their disk, and I don't think they can. I don't think they can just keep at that rate. It almost seems like they would have to have it so that every time you would have to load up a separate application or put in a different disk, and just load up that same character on either version. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Like, you know how when you put the game into a PS3 or a PS4, you have the same 3 characters that you can play with.
Mm-hmm.
Be just like that, except instead of the same game in a different console, it would be a different game in the same console.
So how do they handle it in MMOs? They just add a chunk of land to the landmass?
Yeah, well, it's a PC, so they can just use so much more storage, so that every time you get a new expansion, you're installing about 5 gigs of data.
Okay, so then I think that we've stumbled upon what they're going to do, because I don't... Does anybody think that Destiny 2 is coming out next year? Or do you think it's... Like,
Sure,
you think it's a year after that?
They're set to
I
come
think-
out every other year according to the original Activision contract.
Interesting.
If it's a yearly thing, I may just throw in the towel. I'm so serious about that. They need more time. They need more time to develop the stuff and keep up quality. If it's a yearly thing, it's not gonna happen.
So 4 updates. So 3 updates a year. No, wait. So 7 updates in between each release is what we're looking at.
No. If I understand correctly, according to the original... Well, wait a minute.
See, that's the original though. That could have changed.
Yeah,
Brandon's
Right,
kind
the
of on track
original
with the way
had-
3 months is.
The
original
original
contract
had
called for-
comets.
What's that?
Comets, they were
The
called
original
comets.
version had comets, and
Correct.
it didn't have expansion packs.
Well, no, it had 2 different size ones listed. Yeah, they called them comets or whatnot, but there were supposed to be the release, then there were supposed to be 2 small expansions, update things, then one of the major comets, which was like another huge expansion halfway between that, and then 2 more expansion things, then the next game release. Then 2 expansion things, then the next comet, 2 more expansion things, next game release.
Saying as with how quick that the Dark Below came out, I don't think that holds true anymore.
Well, I agree. It also was slated to... First Destiny was also originally supposed to come out in September of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So there's already been significant changes to all that. And these things obviously evolve over time. You know, Activision's going to want to do whatever they think's best in agreement with Bungie to make them the most money, obviously. So they're going to, you know, alter things based on how things roll out.
Just
Well,
to
I
give an
hope,
update, my World of Warcraft folder is sitting at 30 gigabytes.
Oh, that's it?
That's not that much.
Well, that is a lot for a game that isn't... It's not high def. Not really. Like
Sure.
everything is still like this was
Right.
installed originally using CDs, so
Back in my day, we installed games with CDs.
diskettes.
You know, so by the time Destiny 2 comes around, the Xbox 360 will have been phased out by then, right?
That's
Pretty
what I was
much.
going to bring up. How much
Theoretically.
the prior
Okay.
system bring us back?
Okay, so then this makes sense. If your folder right now is sitting at 30, I mean that's tiddlywinks compared to the hard drive that I have on this PlayStation 4, and I'm assuming the hard drive on the Xbox One. River, how much space did that come with?
500.
Okay, so yeah, so you could put another 2 Destinies on there, 3 Destinies on there, 4 Destinies on there, and still really have an absolute ton of space.
If you're a dedicated Destiny only player,
Well, I don't know, like I'm trying to imagine how much content that transfers into. How big is the Xbox 360 installation of Destiny?
it's me. I didn't grab it.
Well, the PS4 installation is 22 gigs.
There are games on the market that are up to 50 gigs and past that already for the PS4.
That's right.
Yeah, 50 is about the average, and 20 is actually quite low, so I'm not sure why it's low.
So they could easily
Interesting.
double the content for Destiny and not be getting out of the ballpark and what people can handle.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way it's going to go. By that time, the terabyte hard drives will be a huge deal. You know, we've
The
already
other-
got. Go on.
The other thing is, how much is Destiny going to be able to evolve to have their servers handle in the meanwhile? Like, how much can be done through the connection? How much can they keep on their end as far as being able to balance out what the consoles can handle as time goes on too? I mean, it's a 10-year cycle, and technology advances a lot in 10 years. I know I just saw online the picture the other day of 10 years ago we had 128 megabyte SD cards. Now we have 128 gigabyte SD cards.
Totally.
So by the time Destiny 4 is rolling out, who knows what they'll be able to be capable of as far as keeping things on the server end and cloud and things like that.
Totally.
Well,
That's exciting.
I think if we had to pay a subscription fee for Destiny, that would be a problem because that money would be pumped back into hardware, software, stuff like that.
Yeah, see,
Maintenance.
the main thing that you can say about sub fees is that generally if you're paying a subscription fee, they're putting out a lot of content because they can afford to.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of fun, like not inconsequential, but like just not paid for content. Although WoW's getting a little bit microtransaction-y, although macrotransaction-y at $25 mounts if you wanted to buy one, but still, like, all the mounts that you can get with just buying the base game and paying the sub fees, quite a lot that you don't really need to.
Microtransactions serve the same purpose.
Yeah.
So, and we're doing neither. That's
Yeah.
my
I
point.
was actually hoping to see cosmetic microtransactions in Destiny. I think as long as they don't affect gameplay, like buying extra unique shaders and things like that, because then lets people with tons of extra cash help pay for those who, would want a better game instead.
As long as you
Agreed.
don't see pay 50 cents for a sniper rifle telemetry.
Well, that's why I say cosmetic. That's why I
Yeah.
say, I want my gun to be green instead of blue, so I can pay 50 cents and have a green dye that I can put on any one of my guns I want.
I would do it.
I would do it too. $5 horse armor.
Right.
That's what I mean. I mean, people who have the cash and think it's nifty, it has no effect whatsoever on gameplay and just pays for all the other people to have a better game.
I feel bad being one of the people that actually bought that.
I
What
knew
did you buy?
somebody here was.
The horse armor for Oblivion.
Man, I did too. I don't see what the big deal was.
Well, at
It
the
was
time,
awesome.
we're like, hey, horse armor, that's gonna be great. It's gonna stop our horses from dying. Nope.
Right. I really
$5.
I expected there to be more of an in-game bonus to my horse not dying because that's really unacceptable.
Then you just
Um,
ended up turning into a vampire and running as fast as you can.
Well, actually, I ended up turning into a vampire, and then I didn't play the game again for like 3 years until I bought the expansion, like that witch's hut or whatever, and the cure for vampirism was just there. Like I
Oh,
tried
yeah.
to do the mission where you go and you get those mushrooms and you take them to that witch, and then you had to get like, I don't know, 5 grand soul gems. Like it was ridiculous. Like I couldn't do it. Like I tried to fast travel to my different locations, and then the sun would be out, and I would just die instantly.
Welcome to Tamriel Cast.
So yeah, so that was a huge learning curve for the developer there, because for reals, I just stopped playing.
I'm pretty sure that was the console's first foray into microtransactions as
It
well.
sure was.
So that explains why it was so high for so little.
I bet the Dark Below seems like a great value compared to horse armor.
Oh yeah. Back in my day, your $5 purchase or
Didn't
your
get you
$15
anything.
purchase bought you 3 things of something that doesn't do anything. And then in game you had to buy it with gold, didn't you?
Oh, that's booty.
It just unlocks the ability to add horse armor.
All right, so is there anything else that we need to get to, Agrios?
Oh, not really. We covered all the important things there. We're running over time. I think we've got all the important stuff covered, except that we can without spoilers.
Yeah. Damn it.
It's all right.
Much to talk about in the weeks to come. And really, I'm glad to promote no spoilers, because I haven't looked up anything about the Crota raid. Like I'm hoping to get back together with a team that maybe doesn't know everything that's about to show up.
Here's the best spoiler to get people in that raid. The final boss is the Cryptarch.
Nice.
I like it.
How about next week we have a
big
spoiler cast?
by the way.
Oh, okay. That's it. I love it, River. I love it. Next week is spoiler cast.
Yes.
Look for it.
But it's great because a lot of people only get to play on the weekends, and a lot of people haven't
Yeah.
hit their weekend after the DLC yet, so we don't want to spoil that.
Right.
Well, here's
Yeah.
a warning right now.
Yep, there it is. Next week is going to be all about different techniques and different things. Like let's get on this spoiler cast. Awesome. All right. Well then, did anyone notice how awesome that Morla's voiceover as Eris was? Like when you were going to the tower or when you're going on your missions. I thought that was so awesome, and then I thought, man, I would pay $5 to have her be my ghost voice. And then I thought it would
Or
be
Peter Dinklage.
like I think that they had to go with a male because they wanted to separate themselves from Halo. Like they couldn't have you be in a first-person shooter as some kind of possibly a Titan, and then your little AI friend is some female. I think
Possibly a Titan wearing Polar Oak shader.
definitely a Titan wearing Polar Oak shading. Yeah, so I don't know. It was really awesome, and so when I was thinking about how awesome it would be when that Queen's Wrath comes around, if what we had just talked about on previous shows was that she did a different introduction. Like it would just be so much more integrating, because if it had been Peter Dinklage talking to us on the mission to that Crota, it might not have felt the same as it did. And then there was conversation during the mission that acted in the same manner as a pushing force. Like I really liked it. I really liked it, and I'm looking forwards to more of that.
Here's a quick question. Do you think the future expansions are going to focus on one NPC that either shows up or is already there?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I've been thinking that maybe our ghosts are the Traveler. Like he's, the Traveler made these ghosts, and that's his personality. Like we are talking to the Traveler at all points in time. And then I start thinking maybe it's going to go crazy on us. And then when we get to the second game, we're going to have an entirely different ghost.
No, it's the third game when Rampartancy starts.
Rampancy.
Rampancy, yeah.
About Rempancy.
Rempancy.
Shout out to Remy from Warlock School.
Warlock School. All right. So then, shout-outs. Agrios.
Shout out to both my excellent raid teams, Remy, Sharks 3D Man, K-Dub. Thanks to Mark Turcott for having us along. It was a great raid in both with both parties. Had a lot of fun. The team worked well together. Love it. At this rate, it was great for going in blind. We had a blast.
Jez?
Shout out to my raid teammates for probably carrying me to the end, or well, to near the end. Although I did figure out some of the bits along the way, but that was about it.
I bet you kick ass, Jez. I bet you kick ass. Crimson Warlock.
I'm actually going to shout out to the streamers that I watch just because I enjoy them. I think they're pretty entertaining and they do a lot of Destiny. King Defalion on Twitch and Professor Broman on Twitch. But also to Datto, because Datto is a perfect example of Guardian helping Guardians today. Joining up with these streamers, even though they're not part of Prime Guard or anything, to help them do the raid and stuff. So it's pretty cool to watch. So shout out to all of them.
Yeah, Datto is actually always very much Guardians helping Guardians. Like, if he wasn't so deeply involved with Prime Guard, I would definitely attempt to turn him to the Guardian one side, because every video that he makes is an amazing example of a Guardian helping Guardians. Like, it's everything that he does is to help people understand what it is that they're either going to be doing or should be doing. And he plays in a very important role. He just got his silver play button, which is very exciting. Over 100,000 subscriptions. That's crazy.
150.
It
Man,
wasn't that long
it's
ago.
5? No, it's 150.
It's
Yeah.
well, I thought the silver was just for 100, but it takes a while to get to him.
Well, I thought on his silver play button down at the bottom it said 150 subscribers.
You're likely correct.
I thought it said
only seen
100,000.
But yeah,
Could be wrong. Either way, congratulations to Datto.
Yeah.
Well, one of us is clowning the other on Twitter in the very short future, in the very near future.
So, yeah, not that long ago, he did a stream where he took people from his Twitch channel into Vault of Glass, and he did like a bunch of normal mode runs like for several hours. It was
Totally. Then he runs
crazy.
people through with Thorn. Like, he runs people through that section with Thorn. Like, that's awesome. That is crazy, and that's awesome. On top of that, he knows what he's doing. It's not even just he's friendly and helpful. He way knows what he's doing, and he's calculating. I got to meet him at that Guardians ball down here, and he is cool. He is way cool. He's exactly the way he is in his stream. Like, I think that's why he's so popular, is because he's not trying to be someone he's not. He's just being Datto, who is making videos about Destiny, and that rings true. That rings right through. So, all right, River.
Big thank you to Twisted Shots TV. He's in the chat right now. He's been helping me out with Destiny lately. Me and him have been sitting fools down in the Crucible and doing some missions. He actually helped me out with hard mode on the new missions for the Dark Below yesterday, because I was having a hard time by myself as a level 29. So thank you, Twisted. You're the man. I do appreciate you.
That's awesome. I have two shout outs I want to do. The first is to you guys on the panel, because I absolutely 100% love talking about Destiny, and there will be days when it'll be like show day, and I'll have notes and I'll have a lot to say, but I just think to myself, what are we even going to do for an hour? And and it always is. We always run over. It really should be a 2-hour show, but I love talking about Destiny, and you guys take that to the next level by also wanting to talk about Destiny, and I think it really shows. I think it shows in our episodes that we are engaged in what's going on, and we have ideas, and we have things that would make it better, things that would make it work. So that's first shout out. Thank you to you guys, because you guys kick ass. And then the second one is to my fire team as well. Which consisted of Agrios, Sharks 3D Man, Ninja with IBS, Psilocybin, and Creamsicle. Like those last two we picked up from Destiny LFG, And I have not had very good luck with Destiny LFG. I want to make a meme of that part in Star Wars that says, "You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy," and then have a picture of that Destiny LFG, because I've just met some seriously, ridiculously, you can tell they don't bathe or talk to other people on a daily basis. Like, they just no people skills and just rude. But the two people we found for this huge important thing, they turned out to be really smart, really really good players, and really friendly and helpful. And how that happened, I will never know. But that's that. Shout out to you.
It was really funny too, because it turned out that Psilocybin coincidentally was on one of our team's friends list already, and I just randomly pulled the first two semi-competent level 30s off of LFG.
Awesome. That's way awesome. Yeah, cool guys, and I hope to play with them again. I did get a friend request from one of them, and I don't know. The future is going to be awesome, especially if there is going to be a raid every 3 months. And I can't imagine that there's not going to be. Like, I can't imagine that. I don't know. I think that if you're going to ask the $20, that you need to have the content people are looking for, and I think that the raid is, even to people who don't play it, they understand that it's a huge deal, and I hope that they are able to do what needs to be done to get in a group with other people. Like, I know on the Xbox, I don't have very many friends, and it's difficult to get that level of activity going, but it's totally worth it. It's totally worth it. It's on another level, but it really pays to either know the people that you're going to be playing with, or at least know that you have something in common. And that's something that I feel like there's something here for Guardian 1 to do as far as that's concerned, beyond Destiny LFG. You know, that's a very important place. It's a very important thing, but I think that there's something that we can do here, and I'm going to be ferreting it out shortly. So that is our show. I would like to thank everyone listening for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions or comments, please send them to feedback@guardian1.net, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Woo!